Hello. Um, um, so my neighborhood is totally different now. Um, it's a suburban neighborhood and it's usually quiet through the week, really, really quiet. People are at work. People are doing other things. I think a lot of people go to the mall. There's a lot of retired people here, but I think they go shopping a lot usually. But everyone's out for a walk, and that's really nice to see in a lot of ways because people don't do that enough. People don't go for a walk and get some air in general. They just don't. They have they're preoccupied usually. So because nobody has anything else to do, everyone's gone for a walk. And it's good. It's just different. And I'm someone who, yeah, is home a lot. Usually walks the dog, though. That's about all I usually get out for. I mean, there's a few other things that I'm missing out on right now that I would normally be doing, but like most days I walk the dog twice a day and I don't really get out much otherwise for years now. So yeah, my world's just totally different because I had this routine and I have to adjust around everyone being out in the woods near my house and on the side streets, like on the residential streets. The low traffic residential streets are full of pedestrians and it's nice, and they haven't closed those streets, so there's still the odd car, so everyone then has to get out of the way. And it's just, I mean, I suppose everyone's just adapting. And one thing I like about this, I'm getting different reactions to using a power chair. I would say people are less focused on it. They still stare and stuff. And that's one thing I hate about using it. My power chair, it makes people react in ways that it really makes you feel like subhuman. So I'm not noticing that as much because I think people are thinking about other things, and then I don't know, maybe I'm reading into it, but anyway, I have to walk by a lot of people in my power chair if I'm walking the dog, and I have to walk by a lot of people if I'm having a day when I'm feeling like I can use my cane. And by the way, today I was having a bad day and I absolutely needed the chair. I don't know what I would have done. But a lot of days when I'm using the chair, and this is true for a lot of ambulatory wheelchair users, that doesn't mean it's a bad day. It just means it's what is needed for the task. And it's actually none of your business why people need devices, different aids on different days. Like, that's a hashtag. But anyway, when I have the cane, the upright cane, people treat me totally differently, like normal, like a normal, I say that because like they used to treat me when I didn't have a walking aid. But I haven't used that in a couple of days. If I use a regular offset handle cane, there's a little more pity. If you use a walker, there's a lot of like, what the hell are you doing? And then the power wheelchair, it just more pity and confusion and questioning. And so I practice resting bitch face consciously if I'm using my power chair, and if I'm using my upright walking cane, I smile all the time at people. And that, so I'm basically two different people depending on what aid I'm using, and that's because I don't want to be open to people's weird comments, because they have hurt me so much that it has made me stay home a lot. And yeah, it's really hard to just shake it off when it's every single person you encounter. And that's how it was for me in the fall, because that was when I started using it, the late summer, early fall. And I didn't really use it much this winter because Lots of reasons. Look into power chairs and snow and slush and cold temperatures. It's you can easily break them. You can easily get stuck. I don't personally have to rely on it in the sense that some people do who can't physically stand, right? So during the winter, I put myself in a lot of pain, and I wrecked my body this winter more than ever, because it's just, I experience EDS as a progressive illness, because that's what it feels like. It feels like no matter what I do, my body is deteriorating, and I get more subluxations, and they get harder to put back in, and that's the course of my existence. So I don't know what I wanted to get on here and talk about, but just the contrast in my neighborhood versus now versus like last month, and the contrast in last year, and the contrast between like the way people treat me when I'm using one thing as opposed to another thing. So it's just a lot of contrast, and that's again just a theme generally lately, polarized opinions, right? About staying home and stuff, and about the news and stuff, and about what's real and what's propaganda, and what we should all be doing. And oh my god, there's just so much, there's so many layers to all these conversations, and I don't think people even, some people know. I don't know all the layers. I only know the layers that affect me. This is an anecdote, but there's a YouTuber I like, and this person is local. I'm not going to say who, obviously, but I was on their live stream a few nights ago, and they suggested reading the Bible, and I was like, yeah, that's a sweet idea. I'm going to pick up the Bible, the New Testament. Why the hell not? I haven't looked at it, as in blaspheming. I haven't looked at it in a long time, and I was raised in Christianity, sort of. I have some roots there, so yeah, cracked it open. Good idea. Good idea. Read a bit of Matthew. A lot of relevant shit stuff. I can't not swear sometimes. It's really hard for me. If I'm stressed, I have a hard time not swearing. Anyway, doesn't matter, does it? Sorta. But, I picked up the Bible, and, I don't really want to talk about the Bible. What I want to talk about is how, well, that person was discussing how, like, triggered they feel by having to stand 6 feet away from everyone. And when I hear that, I'm confused at first, because 6 feet, well, that's because of coughing and sneezing range, and there's like a reason why, a really good reason why you should stand that far away from strangers and people in your community and people you don't live with right now. But some people in the New Age movement and in the health and fitness movement, I don't want to say that. Health and fitness is really tied into health care, but all of that is also tied into alternative medicine, and there's a lot of thoughts and opinions and research, and I'm not really talking about anything specific, am I? But the reason I don't want to read the Bible with my friend, who isn't really like a friend, more of an acquaintance, like I've met them one time, because they kind of put it out there on their live stream, like, anyone who wants to read the Bible, join in. But because that person is triggered by standing 6 feet away from everyone, and I feel like I feel for them, but I also don't want to talk about that with them right now. Like, I'm talking about it here, but I understand the feeling of being controlled, and I understand the concern with how government is ran, and I follow conspiracy theory, I always have, but with a grain of salt. I mean, everything with a grain of salt. The news, the doctors, everything. Everything you hear. Just don't take it at face value, right? And yeah, it's okay to question social distancing, but I'm not questioning it because I see why. And I don't want to catch this. I'm so scared of catching this because I have a compromised immune system. My partner has chronic bronchitis. I don't want anyone in my life to catch this. I don't want my 90-year-old grandfather to die, you know? He's still alive and doing well, and he has Parkinson's, and I don't want him to die. Like, so just wash your goddamn hands. So I just start getting angry at people who don't get that, and people who I haven't talked to in a while who are just sending me random things saying, don't listen to the news. Like, fuck off, honestly. I'll do what I want. I listen to the news when I want. And right now I'm really focused on the survival rate more so than the death rate. And what's going to keep that survival rate up is if you practice, you follow the damn protocol. And I understand. I don't like being controlled either. But the more regular people don't do this, follow these measures, the more vulnerable people are going to suffer. And that's what's happening. That's 100% what's happening. And it hurts my heart, and it makes me mad, and it alienates me from a lot of people. And this is 11 minutes. That's good. Just some thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts about employment right now too, but this is good for now.